together we'll get there. Who knows? Who knows where we'll grow or how far? So go far you will, make your own little mark, reach out in the dark and you'll know. Together our race it will start. Carry that steel. Yes, expansion is real. Oh, can you feel? Yeah, everyone pulls. This bubble won't burst. But we have such a thirst for the stars. Go place on the ground a new home to breathe in, to fill with the sounds of our people. Flying Type 9s hauling today. So like pulling a thread, we will slowly unwind. Don't make it a grind. There's a galaxy, oh, a galaxy out there to find. And if we all work together, then who knows how far we can get if the goals grow together. There's nothing that we can't beat yet if we all pull together. Then anywhere is within reach if we all hold together. Just watch us and feel us and see us and fear us. We're a tidal wave. We're unstoppable like a miracle. Oh yeah, we want it all. Yeah, we need it all. Can you hear the call? If we all pull together, then anywhere is it within reach if we all hold together. Oh, can you see? Humankind is free. Where will we be in the end? Reach for the stars. Yes, it's so beautiful. We can all feel the pull. Yes, at last we can finally make this place ours.
Established in 3223 as a haulage company, Takata made the bold decision to recruit and train its own security forces. Over the years, a series of highly effective laser weaponry was also developed to support these security teams, and they garnered galactic critical acclaim. The TK Zenith, a burst-fire pistol that can strip shields in no time. The TK Eclipse, a rapid-fire carbine for close-up thermal destruction. And the TK Aphelion assault rifle, a powerful and precise weapon of total shield destruction. On the battlefield, you know what's needed. Takada.
Protecting settlements from villainous scum, it's Settlement Patrolman. The action figure every child wants. Wearing the all-new Manticore Dominator suit with light-up jump assist thrusters. Press his backpack to hear Settlement Patrolman speak.
Not seen you around here before, Commander. Is that a Karma P15 in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me? Hey, don't point that at me.
When alarms sound, Settlement Patrolman rides into action in his surface reconnaissance vehicle with pop-up turret and glow-in-the-dark wheel trims. Settlement Patrolman. Surface reconnaissance vehicle and action figure sold separately. Available from branches of Lave Toy Depot and other retailers. Microelectrode, ion battery, and circuit switch not included.
From the creators of luggage limpets and passenger lounge suitcase shuttles comes the latest revolution in passenger transportation. The passenger cannon. For centuries, circus performers have perfected the technique of being fired from a cannon. Paired with our new memory gel passenger pod impact absorption technology, you too can speed up disembarkation times from your liner by up to 250%. No longer be limited by pad sizes and excessive docking fees with the passenger cannon. But how does it all work? First, all passengers will be issued with a passenger pod inflation suit during transit. On approach to your passenger's destination, simply fill the inflation suit with our patented impact-absorbing memory gel. Then, once in a stable position in proximity to the destination, effortlessly slide them into the disembarkation chamber ready for launch. The passenger cannon is now available in both gimbaled and turreted varieties to make aiming elementary. Make your liner one of the top 1% in the galaxy. Buy a passenger cannon today. Warning: passenger cannon must not be operated on high-gravity planets or near geysers.
Science, 3 days to shift it all.
welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
And the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous.
and the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from a current Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads. A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 537 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite Dangerous and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix to Fire, otherwise known as Colin Ford, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar for this episode, we have our SRV Banksy, that would be the Commander Alec Turner.
Good evening.
We have our Staff Liaison Officer, that's Commander Psychic, otherwise known as Claire. Okay.
Hello, can you hear me or not? Can you hear me? Did you hear me? Did you hear me?
We hear you now.
We can hear you
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Sigh of relief. Sigh of relief.
The panic.
And we also have our Head of Health and Safety, that's Commander Edelweiss, otherwise known as Ben Mushooded.
Yeah, I think Claire's going to have to check her wires or something, isn't she?
Jeez.
So, if you wish, you can join us live. Both Chris, Mark IV, and Ben are hanging around in Lave Station in open, so you can join them there if you wish. But if you can't get to us in game, you can join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat, or go straight to twitch.tv/laveradio, or look for Lave Radio on Google because we're there as well. So, well, we've got quite a bit of a show tonight, especially after last week's emotional episode. So let's quickly go around the crew, see what they've been up to. Let's start with Alec.
Hi. In real life, I have put out the summer garden furniture. So if it starts raining, it's all my fault. Sorry. and other real life stuff. In game, I've done quite a lot. I have spent several weeks now in my colonization system, planning something, which I will talk about more about later in Community Corner. I've also finally got around to setting up, so ED Copilot lets you put a load of your own station facts and system facts and things in game so that anyone who's running ED Copilot when they come to your system gets them. It's very cool. So I have put in some station facts for the Happy Bottom Riding Club and also for my tourist space installation thing, which is called Slam and Sammy's. So if folks want to see a nice picture and read about where those two names come from, then go there with ED Copilot and it will tell you. I've also paid a ludicrous amount of arcs to clad the Happy Bottom Riding Club in copper. It might as well have been gold, frankly, for the price it cost me. But it does look quite cool. Only quite cool, I have to say. I'm not sure it was worth 13,000 arcs, but hey ho. And just yesterday, I finished making my first on-foot Elite Danger ED Copilot time trial. So it's a course where you sort of run and jump around on top of all the containers, and it works beautifully. So shout out to Razafrag again for incorporating support for on-foot time trials, and it works really nicely. Unfortunately, it's just gone dark there now, so I suggest people wait a week before they give it a go because it's pitch black. So unless you've got night vision, it's a bit tricky, apparently. And other than that, I've actually did some Power Play weeklies for the first time in a very long time. And I've been flying around the bubble looking for photo opportunities for Daisy Bell, but more on that later too.
Excellent. Psychic.
Hi. What have I been doing? Well, Pride Month started, so I worked on loads of stuff for that, for making everything just a little bit queerer, and yeah, have had a lovely time doing Pride things and that kind of stuff. It was a big weekend. The weekend that just gone. Not only was it my mum's 69th nice birthday, but we also had some lots and lots of game trailers dropped. So I watched the Future Games show. I watched the Summer Games Fest. I watched the Xbox Game Showcase. There's loads of space games. There's a big lot of space games that have been announced. Very importantly, games that are currently there's quite a few games that are currently on demo because it's Steam Next Fest week. So there were some that I can definitely recommend to you. What I will say is that there is a game that has stolen my heart entirely called Jump Ship, which is I've seen people say that they want EVA and that kind of stuff in Elite and running around your spaceship in Elite. Jump Ship legitimately will cater for that for you. Just go and play it with a good at the moment it's like max group of 4 in a team kind of thing, but it's so good. And you fly around in a spaceship. The ship goes on fire. You go and put out fires on your ship, or you repair your ship by actually physically going to the item, because the option isn't there for you to do it via a console command or something like that. And yeah, that's brilliant. The other thing that I will touch on before I completely move on, or that's what I've been doing with my week. The other one that got me so hyped and excited is the Expanse Osiris Reborn. Which is the thing that I didn't mention it on stream last week because we were busy, but Owlcat Games sent through this transmission thing. And it went through to a page that I thought was going to be the Starfinder game. It's the Expanse game, and this might sound familiar to people who love certain games or might be familiar with certain games like myself, but it is a third person class-based cover shooter where you take 2 companions with you, and there's also your relationships with your companions grow, and there is also romance. Yeah, if that sounds familiar, it's because they've used Mass Effect as a huge inspiration for it. So it's basically Mass Effect in the Expanse universe with graphics from this century. I'm so excited about it. Those are my 2 games that I'm very excited about. I did more. I've done more ferrying shit about in Elite. After I've done this, I'm not doing another Coriolis for years. I'll tell you that for free. This how much steel could it possibly need? How many CMM composites? Just one thing. It's so much. So I'm not a big fan, but I will get it done at some point. It's not even a Coriolis. It's an asteroid. It's the second asteroid station in my... Yeah. I hate it. It's so mundane. I know it's not timed, and if it was timed, I'd be fucked. But it's so mundane doing it. I'm done.
I'll just get the burst to do mine.
Maybe I should put a call out or something.
Yeah, might as well do. Please save the Lave Radio crew from the churn of actually having to do it by base. Oh man, yeah. Okay, Ben. Has he forgotten his mic again?
Placey bets.
It's a
Is that
good
on the
day.
bingo
It's
card?
a good day.
Ben mutes his mic. Is
There's
on the bingo
there's
card, right?
no mute mic problems at the moment. It's all fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, Ben's got a connection error apparently. Right. Well, I'll guess I'll do my bit. Yeah. Life progresses on. I am now officially a man of leisure.
I think I'm back.
Oh, well, welcome back, Ben. Do you want to? We'll call on you in just a sec. Yes. So yeah, hopefully I won't be a man of leisure for too long. But yeah.
Okay, you can call on me in just a sec.
Yeah. So that's what's happening in this side of life, which means I've put in a lot more time into Elite than I normally have. So I now have a fleet carrier. Yes, the Fortress Ford has arrived.
The crowd goes wild. Woohoo!
Have you made it to Colonia yet?
No.
Tell me when you do.
And then we've got lots and lots and lots of power play, and I got notoriety for the first time ever. Ever. I have been a good person for all this time, and now I've got notoriety.
Ever? Jeez.
Ever. Yes. So I've been being naughty for the Emperor. And I've been running around raiding. I've been successfully sneaking around Odyssey settlements, and then one person came in at just the wrong time, and I had to zap them, and then that was it. You know, it just kind of goes out of control from there. So yeah, that's been doing a lot of that, and of course, Final Fantasy Rebirth. It is breaking my heart, but in a good way. I'm on the last chapter. I know where it's going, and I don't want it to go that way, but I know it's going to go that way, and yeah, I'm going to be an absolute wreck at the end of it. So yeah, that's me. So we'll drag Ben in and see if he's still with us.
I believe so. I can't refresh my Twitch screen. But last week, I'm still here. Last week I went to see Mission Impossible film. Loved them both. There were problems going from one to the other. I was expecting Mission Impossible to be a bit more realistic. I'm not psych it. No, it's probably me. Yeah, I think somebody's doing something to my internet.
Oh, Virgin Media's kicked in again.
No, my landlord's been doing some kind of work around the place, and I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Well, hopefully you'll stick with us.
I might go and shout at him and see what needs to get done, and I will hopefully join if I can.
Good
Okay.
luck with your impossible mission, Ben.
Yeah.
Should you choose to accept it?
Should I choose to accept it?
Good luck, Ben.
Yeah.
Right. Well, hopefully Ben will be back at some point. Oh God. Normally it's a Manchester Virgin Media that kicks one of us out, but yeah. Right. So on to development news. Well, what have the devs said this week? Well, we've got 2 weeks to catch up on because of saying goodbye to. Can we say "Daddy off" without Ben being about?
No, we definitely can't.
No, never again.
No, we're not doing that. That's terrible.
I know. Oh, it's just so cringe. So yes, development news. Well, obviously, in the last FU, Frontier Unlocked, they talked about Vanguards, which is Squadron 2, as I call it. We have so much to say about this, but we're going to hold fire on this until the main topic.
Yeah, we are. Can Can I just say, in regards to the Arth's interview last week, can I just say, like, personally, thank you so much to all of the lovely people who have left lovely feedback on the show, because it's been really, really nice reading comments. I think it's something we'd like to do in the future with other devs, and like have a full big like we scrap the format and just talk to like an elite person for a while. So the fact that your feedback and your like all of the feedback and all of the commentary on it has been really nice. Just like from a personal note, yeah, thanks very much. I very, very much appreciate that. But it was really nice to see. I've also listened to it back and I really enjoyed it. And I very rarely listen to my own content very, very often. But yeah, it was lovely. It was really, really, really nice to see. Especially thanks to the person who decided that we were wrong about Vanguards before we'd even said anything, which was really good. So thanks to that person too. But yeah, thank you so much. That's all I'm saying.
Someone said we didn't discuss Vanguards
we
at all.
didn't discuss Vanguards at all, but they all decided that we're wrong. Yeah.
Oh,
by not discussing it, you see, we were wrong in not discussing it.
Well, maybe.
Oh God,
can't win.
Hashtag bloody internet, right? But that is not all. We got Trailblazers update 3.3. Now, this was a server-side patch that went in, and what it did reveal, I'm quite glad to say, is how you get certain facilities in your stations. Is another indication that they're putting bits of colonization in and letting us know once it's all we're still in the beta phase effectively. So yeah, there's way that it goes into great detail about how you get a commodities market, how you get shipyard outfitting, and all the usual stuff that you can buy in your fleet carrier. But yeah, this is how you get those same facilities in your stations while working through colonization. So, and there was even some fixes as well. But yeah, is anything there? Did that patch actually fill in any blanks for anybody, or help in any way?
Filled in a lot of blanks I didn't know I had.
Oh, right.
The only thing for me was the very final item was something about fix issues with stations and fleet carriers being positioned too close to stars or something, and I vaguely hoped it would fix. Yeah, okay. I reread it and realized it wasn't what I thought. I hoped it would fix the issue where I can't land at my colonization platform because it's moving at 400 meters a second, but it didn't. Oh well.
So yeah, no, is that not fixed then, or is that still happening?
No, it's not fixed. But what I did do was I decided to pay 5,000 arcs, and I've renamed it to Catch Me If You Can.
Wow.
Does it spell like Captain Kirk's can?
The spelling is quite confusing.
I just imagine you going around chasing, going, "Come on!" Yeah,
it does end. Yes, it does end in KHAN. Catch me if you can.
Excellent. Right. Well, yeah. So again, it just feels like they're putting in the filling out the beta for colonization. Do you think we're there yet?
No, because we don't have an undo button yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's it's quite a called for item, but a way to rectify the efforts that we've made, and then we realize now that it's not working. I still feel that that's the one thing that we're missing, but
yeah.
I'm not really paying much attention to the economics side of colonization, but skimming forum threads and things, I get the sense that quite a lot of people feel the whole weak link thing is badly broken and doesn't do what was needed. And I don't know. I detect a dissatisfaction with the way all that works.
Oh yeah, I do know that with Psychic saying I want an undo button because I know where I initially placed my station is completely the wrong place, and all I've got is weak links to that station, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can do is start over in another system. So once I've finished my asteroid base, and oh my god, that asteroid base!
I feel that entirely, Colin.
That's why I got the fleet carrier. I thought this will make things easier.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, though, does it? It doesn't. Like a lot of the stuff that I was transferring it from one asteroid base to the other, and it was still soul destroying in the same fucking system. No. I'm going to stick to little ground bases from now on.
What I would say, Colin, is, and I guess anyone thinking of starting again, now we've got the rule book, maybe wait till that beta tag disappears. I might also say that to anyone attempting to write a 56-page document on colonization, but more on that in a minute.
Yeah, that's just wait until they finished it before documenting it.
Yeah, maybe.
That's but then again, computer programs, especially MMOs, they're never finished. So when do you start documenting them?
Well, when the beta tag disappears, I would suggest.
Oh dear. So yeah, the main question is colonization going to come out of beta just before Vanguards arrives?
Not a chance.
Yeah. One other thing to mention is that tomorrow, Frontier are going to actually release their results. So it'll be interesting to see how their financials are going to be, especially regarding Elite after the year they've had. Because last year, about this point, we'd only had released one ship, which was the Python Mark II. But you could actually see on the graph that they've released that there was a massive tick up just with the Python Mark II. So I am very curious to see how Elite has managed to financially perform over the last year with all these new alternatives.
So, speaking of other things that might increase Frontiers, the share price went up by 8% on Monday.
Wow.
Or I think it was 8%. Share price went up 8% on Monday because over the weekend the Jurassic World Evolution 3 trailer dropped, and there's also been a gameplay trailer as well. So that thing that Arthur said last week that he was working on, that will go revealed over the weekend.
Yeah.
That was on Friday.
It even came out on Blue Sky.
It did. They posted like twice on Blue Sky now. Whoa, easy now.
Very much so. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Elite has done. But yes, so that's the end of the development news. I am going to hand over to Alec for the community corner.
And now to the community corner.
It's a dead game, innit, mate?
Jesus Christ, there's a lot of this. I am so sorry. I blame it all on Arthur, but I've got 2 weeks worth of this to get through. So here we go. Yes. So first up, I mentioned a guide to colonization. So Commander Meccan is valiantly attempting to write the definitive guide to colonization. It currently stands at something like 56 pages. It's a Google Doc. I believe Meccan is taking input from various people. There's a forum thread which we will link in the show notes, and people are posting things in the forum thread, and I guess all that's been taken on board. And so yes, an ongoing guide, but as previously mentioned, I guess a work in progress. Next up, it's interesting that this has been posted as an issue on the issue tracker, but basically a bunch of third-party app developers all kind of got together and basically brainwaved a set of changes and tweaks and additions to kind of the API and the journal files and the status files that would make their ability to develop cool things in third-party apps a lot better. So we will include a link in the show notes to an issue on the issue tracker, and within that issue, there's a link to a Google Doc. It's quite interesting reading, whether you're a third-party app developer or not, because it gives you a little insight into what is possible and what currently isn't possible, and what might be possible in the future if Frontier did a little bit more. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, we mentioned that Commander T. Rever had broken the Sol to Sagittarius A-star record. Well, last week, I think it was, Commander Goofyanaut broke the world record for a Sol to Colonia run, and it's one of those beautiful landmarks. Nobody remembers the 1 hour, 11-minute runs. Sorry to Rever, but Commander Goofyanaut has broken the hour. So he's managed to do Sol to Colonia in 59 minutes, 9 seconds, and 699 milliseconds.
That is wild. I love that
the
so
precision.
much.
It's beautiful. We'll link a Reddit thread, which is where it kind of got announced. There's also video of this. What's really cool actually is I was sort of chatting with them in the Bucketball Discord and things, and there's all sorts of real subtleties in these runs. They're not just banging it out and doing it quicker than it. The runs are manually plotted, at least in the first half, where the stars are sort of spread out a bit, and so they do choose routes. They carefully plot routes for the beginning of the run. One of the things that Goofyanaut did here, which is quite cool, is when you engage your jump, you do your scooping and then you engage your jump, and then the countdown starts. And it gobbles however much fuel it needs for that jump. At that point, you can continue to scoop, and the frameshift drive has already taken what it needs for the jump, so you can continue to top up in those last few seconds. And he kind of utilized that to require less fueling stops along the way. It's all real precision stuff. But yeah, bravo for breaking the hour. That's amazing stuff. Next up is a nice video by Nug. It's kind of just showcasing something that the Burr did. The Burr did do the Burr Pit do various sort of little events. And they actually did one last weekend, was it, which was quite extraordinary. They had everyone rock up in Cobra Mark 5s, and they believe they managed to get over 60 Cobra Mark 5s. That's incredible.
It was mental. It was so good.
Anyway, Nug's released a lovely video, just showcasing some of that, all these Cobra Mark 5s flying around over a very beautiful planetary landscape. I must say, hats off to whoever colonized that system, because it's fantastic, he said, speaking of his own system. Right. Next up in my show notes, it says play VT.
This July, Special Effect are inviting you, Commander, to complete 10k your way.
You choose the method to make it to 10k. Like this Commander taking 10,000 pictures of their Aspen front of things.
This Commander has flown 10k into the black.
I'm really far away. This one is waving at 10,000 NPCs.
My arms are so sore. Fully explore 10k class star systems.
Drive 10k away from your settlement.
Mine 10,000 tons of ore.
Sell 10,000 mugs.
Make it to 10k your own unique way.
Visit specialeffect.org.uk and sign up for 10k your way. Yay.
Amazing. Do you want to do the rest of the shout out on that?
You know what? Yeah, I do. Hey, consider raising money for Special Effect by taking part in the 10k Your Way challenge this July, which is, if you weren't aware, July is Disability Pride Month. So we have all July is 10k Your Way. So even if you don't want to do anything Elite Dangerous related, this is a special call out for Elite Dangerous people, but there are like, if you fancy running a 10k for Special Effect in July, as I know friends of mine are, go ahead and do it. But there are lots of different ways that you can go about taking part in the 10K Your Way challenge. There is a link in the show notes to the Special Effect Discord. There are lots of commanders that are taking part in raising money for Special Effect. I'm thinking about doing a race, but I haven't worked on it that hard yet. I might spend a little bit of Thursday having a look and seeing what we can do as far as like a 10K, a play on 10K, because you're damn sure I'm not going 10,000. I'm not going 10,000 light years anywhere as part of a race, but something else might be kind of fun. So there was that, but yeah, get involved, join the Special Effect Discord. I will add that you may have seen it on the old social medias, but Beetlejude has already got a fundraiser going for 10K pictures. So I don't think she's doing 10,000 pictures. I think it's more 10K word pictures that she's doing. But we've also put a link to Beetlejuice's Tiltify in the show notes as well. So have a look around, see anyone who's getting stuff, go and get involved with that. Because it's going to be really fun. It's going to be really fun. I'm really excited to raise some money for Special Effect next month.
Amazing. Good stuff. Thanks, Leah. And a race. Yes, please.
And why?
Maybe.
I'm trying to work out how to get an Elite Miniatures game in somehow. How to do that. I'm trying to work out how it could be done. I'm scratching my head over it, but yeah, I'd like to put that in.
There's all sorts of possibilities I've been thinking too. Yeah. Right, on with the show note, on with the community corner. This was one from last week, but I do think it's worth shouting out. Loose Screws, I know we give them a shout out every week, but I do hasten to add last week's episode. Don't listen to this week's episode. Well, you can, but it's a very different kettle of fish. Last week's episode 286. They did a deep dive on the power distributor and pips, and it's a really good listen. It's fascinating stuff. It basically explains why the pre-engineered power distributor that we got from the last CG is garbage and might as well go in the bin. But but listen to the background because it's good stuff. So we'll include a time-stamped YouTube link for that. Right, next up, who's highlighting my notes? It's very confusing.
It's me copying links to put on the
Oh, I
show
see.
notes.
Oh, cool. It's fine.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. So next up is it's an interesting one. So this is from Reese Lang, who some of you might have met at PitCon. I drove Reese to PitCon. Picked him up from Watford. Anyway, sorry. So Reese Lang has done quite a cool thing. I wasn't really aware of Google Notebook LM, but it's quite funky. It's an AI thing. Basically, you can define your own language model. So rather than having ChatGPT go and scrape the internet for all sorts of nonsense, you can feed this thing the information you want it to have and nothing else. Anyone could do this, but Reese Lang's done quite a cool one. Which includes, it's basically for Elite Dangerous Lore, so it includes all the Galnet text, all of it, all the Galnet text that he's managed to get. It includes all the text from the Codex as reproduced by the Elite Wiki, which seems to be a pretty faithful copy paste of the Codex. But so all of that, all of Canon's list of Elite Dangerous in-game not bookmarks. What do I mean? The waypoints for tourism.
Beacons.
Beacons, that's the word.
Beacons is the word we're looking for.
Yeah.
We'll get them eventually, Alec. It's okay.
I was there. So basically, it's got a load of sort of pretty solid, undisputed sort of facts from in-game and thereabouts, and it's fun because it's one of those AI language models. So having shoved all that into it, you can then ask things like, tell me a timeline for the Thargoid War, or who is D2, or what's the connection between, I don't know, Arissa Lavinia Devali and somebody else. It's cool. Note that being an AI, it may well not be as factual as you would like, but from my experience, but it's really cool. It's good fun to play with. Right, next up, another congratulations. This was just yesterday, actually. There is a thing that I started many years ago called the Planetary Circumnavigation Club, where idiots like me who want to drive all the way around a planet and end up back where they started can share their achievement. There's a forum thread and a Discord. It's been very quiet of late, been very quiet for a couple of years. I think everyone that's ever wanted to do it has done it, basically. But Commander T2E0 popped up yesterday and completed a circumnavigation of Enceladus in the Sol system. So well done. It's pretty cool. It was a journey of about 1,600 kilometers around the circumference of Enceladus, which they completed in 2.5 hours, which is really flipping going some. And I was chatting earlier, and apparently they even had to log out at one point because they basically bounced into orbit. So had to log out and log back in again to recover and carry on before things went badly wrong.
Wild.
Yeah, it's mad. Good stuff. Right, next up, I mentioned this at the head of the show, I think, but Daisy Bell is doing a Pride thing. So this is on Blue Sky, and it's a cool idea. I'm really enjoying this. It's called hashtag. What's the hashtag? I've completely forgotten the hashtag. But you basically each week Daisy Bell posts a theme. It's a sort of well-known personality from the LGBT world. This week's theme is Marlene Dietrich. And the idea is that you post a screenshot of a station featuring the name Dietrich this week, and then you post it on Blue Sky with the hashtag #ElitePridePics. It's really fun. I really enjoyed this sort of stuff. I love things like this. So I spent this morning flying around loads of Dietrich Station and Dietrich Port and Dietrich Botanical Facility, trying to find one that was nicely lit and good for a photo opportunity. So it's a good excuse to go exploring around the bubble and go and see loads of cool places. So I like that a lot.
Very good.
Yeah. Right. Next up, this is really cool. I only saw this yesterday. So for anyone that has a motion rig, I realize that's probably quite a limited audience, or is thinking of setting one up, or is just interested in how motion rigs work. This is a YouTuber called Limitless VR and Sim Rigs. Not at all an elite dangerous specialist. They basically cover flight sims and things. But so this guy has the most gorgeous motion rig I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen some sort of home built things. There was a guy that brought one along to LaveCon once. But this is a slick, polished. It's the sort of thing if you went to Alton Towers, you'd expect to find if you went on it's such a beautiful piece of kit. I dread to think what it costs. I assume it's an off-the-shelf thing or something. It's incredible. But he basically does videos going into real depth on how to set up sim rigs. There's all sorts of software I've never heard of to set them up, and so he's basically setting it up for Elite Dangerous. It will make you very, very jealous watching this video. It's so cool. But one thing I didn't realize is Elite doesn't particularly spit out. There's a word for this again. I'm struggling, but
feedback.
Yeah, kind of information that sim rigs need to do their thing. So one of the things that I picked up from this video is that it uses sound. So basically, he has audio channels for like a butt kicker, and then the main sort of audio, and he feeds that into it. And I think there's telemetry. Thank you, Epiphas. Yeah. Yeah. So I think some of the sim rig software uses things like audio to work out what's going on, acceleration or deceleration or rumbling or vibration, and turn that into appropriate movement in the sim rig. And of course, Elite's sound is so awesome that it works incredibly. Like the sequence where he basically descends into orbital cruise and then into glide, and you get all that creaking and groaning and rumbling, and the sim rig is just responding to that. It must be incredible. Yeah, very jealous, but it's a good video.
I mean, I
Nearly
did
at the end.
notice a lot of the comments that were saying that all the stuff that most of the sim rigs want to get out of Elite Dangerous to work properly would break the terms of conditions.
Yeah,
So,
interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. Anyway, it seems to do a pretty good job without that. As I say, as far as I can tell, by analysing the sound, the audio, which is really cool.
Fantastic workaround. Very
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah, it's really nice. Right, nearly the end. This is what I've been doing in my colonization system. So, again, a couple of weeks ago now, I am going to do a kind of Dakar rally thing. I think it's been done before, but I want to try and make it this really big. I want loads of people to take part in this. So in my colonization system, I now have, thanks to the Burrs, two. I have my little construction yard, and then 250 kilometers away, I have one of those big planetary ports, which I have named Drakir Point, partly after Commander Drakir, who basically started the Buckyball Racing Club, but also because it rhymes with Dakar, and I can call it the Drakir Rally. So, I haven't got a date for it yet, but later this year, I'm currently observing the day-night, so I can try and predict when it's going to be daylight. But later this year, I will be hosting or staging, whatever you want to call it, a 250-kilometer SRV rally. I want loads of people to turn up. I've got all sorts of rules planned about how teams are going to work. Individuals are welcome, but I think teams will be fun too. It's going to take quite a few hours. I should apologize. In my video, I said 2,500 kilometers. That's a very long way and would definitely take most people a lot more than 2 or 3 hours. So thanks to whoever pointed that out to me. But yeah, it'll be everyone settling down for a good 2 or 3 hours of sort of madness as we all drive from point A to point B. So more on that later. But for now, I've made a little trailer just to get people's juices flowing on that. Psychic, something about LMU.
Yeah. Well, I did say, like, probably like 3 weeks ago, I said, oh, that's coming up soon. I should mention it. Hey, if you commanders or friends of commanders or friends of the show, if you're in the southwest of the UK, we have a meetup. Or even if you're not in the southwest of the UK and you're willing to travel, we do a meetup sort of like every year in the middle of summer in the garden of a pub. It's likely that we will literally just meet up and play a lot of Werewolf and get more and more drunk this year because I'm obsessed. But we do it every year. It's it just in a place just outside Bristol at the White Horse in Hambrook. This year it is on Saturday, July the 5th, which is less than a month away at 1 p.m. in the White House in Hambrook. I have included a link in the show notes to where you can find all of the information. It's lovely. It genuinely is just a lovely time, and it's just a bunch of mates meeting up in a pub. We don't see each other very often.
Going, can confirm, was lovely last year. So yeah, I'll be there.
I'll be there because I organise it.
Cool. So if you want to come and see me and Claire getting drunk and playing Werewolf, then hopefully there'll be more people.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
Right. I am going to finish Community Corner with a thing. I hope this works, but excuse me. I need to get my best BBC radio voice on for this. In Hertford, Hereford, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen. Right, let's go. Time now for the colonizing forecast, issued by Lave Radio on behalf of spanch.co.uk at 21:13 on Tuesday, the 10th of June. HIP 33497, Flat Galaxy Society, Alliance Agriculture, Becoming High Tech, 1,444,000,000, imminent 5. Call 285, Sector CKQ, C5-24, East India Company, Empire Agriculture, Becoming High Tech, 1,472,000,000, veering north slowly, 4. HIP 106080, the Burrian Protectorate, Independent Agriculture Becoming High Tech, 1,494,000,000, backing slowly, 3. HIP 54980, the Kentari Mandate, Independent High Tech Becoming Agriculture, 1,522,000,000, veering north slowly, 2. HIP 19030 Astrobiology Research Cooperative, Independent High-Tech, Becoming Agriculture, 1,556,000,000, Remaining Moderate, 1. And that completes the colonizing bulletin.
We need some pips. That's
We
what
need
we
some
need.
pips.
We need
It needs
pips at the end.
pips. It needs pips. It's okay.
Needs
We can do
pips.
pips.
We'll do
Yeah.
pips.
Yes. Thank you, Alec. If you have a community event taking place soon that you'd like us
Yes.
to talk about,
That.
Those pips.
those
Those
pips. Yeah. So yes, if you have a community event taking place soon and would like us to shout about it across the airwaves, tweet us at Lave, the crew at Lave Radio, or email at info@laveradio.com. So, well, there's only been one in-game event happening this week, and that was the end of the CG, where Mahan gained a massive advantage in the Alliance trade boom. So, yeah, that's about it, really. He ran away with it. Billions were earned.
If only it had been like equal footing from the start. Who knows?
Well, it's not all doom and gloom for Kane, because Kane got an awful lot of power play bonuses, because even though you're running for Mahan, Kane benefited from it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, true. Accurate. Very, very accurate right there.
So, yeah, it's not been a complete loss for Kane, as we'll see, because, yes, it's the time for the power play rankings. At bottom place, 12th is Torval, who has gained 7 systems this week to bring her up to 527. President Winters still remains in 11th, gaining 6 systems up to 574. Baturius is in 10th, having gained 2 systems up to 635. 9, the Pirate King Delaney still remains there at 659, gaining 3 systems. However, we have movement. Falling one place is Antal, who is now down to 8, having only gained 4 systems to bring him up to 767. And then up goes Kane to 7, having gained another 25 systems this week, up to 773. Archer remains in 6th with 4 systems. However, they have lost a genuine stronghold. And Lee Yongaru remains at 5 with 924 systems, gaining 7. Grom is up 13 to 1,067, keeping at 4th place. And the Emperor Arissa is at 3rd, gaining 10 systems up to 1,433. Mahan actually gained some systems back, bringing his total up to 1,499, and still running away with it at place number 1 is the Bluehead Princess, Ashlyn Duval, with her total of 1,541, up 6 systems. So, that is your power play rankings this week.
Hey, Colin, you got to do one. You got to do a switch places.
I
No.
Woo!
And it was Kane versus sort of Alec versus yourself there.
I know.
And,
I was very happy. I was very happy to hear that news literally right now live. I don't pay attention.
You actually paid attention. Wow. Okay. Right.
That's very cool.
Clearly, my 3 weeklies didn't help.
No. No, but I must admit, when it's coming to my power play weeklies at the moment, I'm getting so many on foot weeklies that I'm not doing that well.
I haven't done that many.
No,
I've been like logging in probably once a week, and I've just been doing transport. I looked at them the other day, and I was like, "No, I really need to get this done." You know that mentality?
Yeah, I know. The problem is that every single one of mine is do something on foot or blow up powers that will get me notoriety. So guess what's happened?
You got notoriety for the first time. You mentioned that right at the top of the show. I was also paying attention.
I need people to tell me that they pay attention. I need the validation.
Yeah, you need the validation. I've got you, mate. Active listening.
Oh dear. Right. That brings it to that time of the week again.
Store alert!
Well, welcome back. Now we have these were released last week, so if you hopefully you'll have seen them by now. But if you are working on an asteroid base, and you think that the standard asteroid base could do with a little bit of a cheering up, they have put in these fantastic designs which you can have in blue, extraction yellow, tactical yellow, or silver blue.
These are all of them, aren't they? These are all new customization colors for every different type of outpost. Yeah,
they are now, but right at the very beginning they were only released for the Orbis, Coriolis, the Celis, and the outposts. But now this week they've added in the asteroid base. So yeah, and I must admit, I'm like, Alec, did you shell out for this?
No, so I very nearly went for the silver. I've only got an outpost at the moment because all my other thing is a big planetary base, and there's no cosmetics for those yet. So I very nearly did my outpost in the silver blue because I think that looks pretty cool. But in the end, I went completely insane and spent twice as much on the copper.
So if you, like Alec, have more arcs than sense, I would say that's really. I'm being specific for asteroid bases with that, because I think the Coriolis in the silver and blue and the Coriolis in extraction yellow, I think they're friggin' beautiful.
Yeah.
The ones that and all of them, like silver blue is really nice all along the board.
Yeah. Do you know why I didn't go silver blue? Sorry.
Go for it.
Well, I kind of went full role play on this. So my outpost, the Happy Bottom Riding Club, is named after the Dude Ranch where Chuck Yeager used to hang out with Pancho Barnes. Silver blue struck me as a very sort of shiny, modern day, futuristic color, and it seemed wholly inappropriate for the Happy Bottom Riding Club, which is probably a rusty old barn. Whereas the copper, I don't know, it felt appropriate. Sorry, I've gone mad.
A little bit more grungy. Is that what you were going for?
it felt more appropriate. Yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing that they had planned to do a sort of gold and red one, sort of, make the Iron Man one, as we call it. But that one obviously hasn't come yet. They had that as a preview. But yeah, I mean, I must admit, I can't criticize you, Alec, because I ended up spending 10,000 arcs on just stuff my fleet carrier. So I can't say that was a dumb thing to do. But
wait a minute, for your fleet carrier, you mean Frontier actually selling some cosmetic items for fleet carriers?
Not new ones.
Can you imagine?
This is the stuff from 5 years ago.
Yeah, sorry, I had to get a dig in there. It was a bit, yeah, sorry.
It's not a problem.
I find it kind of strange. I find it kind of funny. I find it kind of the Coriolis starport in silver blue is gorgeous. I will put that out there. And if I had 17,000 arcs burning a hole in my pocket, I would definitely consider doing that and not naming 4 stations. However, the same amount I'm going to keep talking about this because I think it's so wild that they're charging the same amount for a tiny little bit of metal on a rock. It's bonkers to me.
Yes, I'm in complete agreement because I'm there thinking, yeah, if I got a Coriolis, I would want that customized to be my Coriolis. But yeah, the amount of customization on an asteroid base, I can't feel I can justify it.
Yeah.
Not for the amount they're asking.
No, I like what Pete did and put Arth's face all over the asteroid base. That's
100%, absolutely,
I'd
yeah.
pay for that.
Yes, can we just give a shout out to Pete and them lot for that one because that was classic. Yes.
Yeah.
It was very good.
In other store alert news, on sale at the moment, there's the orange and white Pulse ship skins, which I've always enjoyed. I've always really liked the white ones, but yeah, if you like something with a bit of Tron flavor, that's you want your Vulture to look like something out of Tron, then I would recommend them. I think I've got all my SRVs are blue Pulse ones because I just love them. But yeah. So, right. Well, I guess we will take a ad break and then we will come back with our main discussion.
We all know what it's like. You're busy managing your settlement when suddenly the alarms go off.
Oh no, not again.
That's right. A commander with a Federation naval rank of Admiral, an Imperial King no less, has landed in a ship worth over 100 million credits and is killing all your staff, while they look around for a 10 credit adhesive to glue an upgraded scope to their 100,000 credit assault rifle. They fly away with their super glue and you're left with a problem. How are you going to get your agricultural plant back up and running?
How am I going to get my plant up and running?
How are you going to find staff at short notice?
How am I going to find staff at short notice?
How are you going to deal with all those bodies?
There's bodies everywhere, and they've stained the carpet.
Wonder no longer. Call Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services.
Hello, I'm Harry from Harry's Mine. After a sudden increase in robberies and murders by commanders since 3307, I've gained valuable expertise in cleaning up bodies, recruiting new staff and restocking stationary lockers. Now you can benefit from my experience by signing up to our Crime Scene Cleanup Service subscription plan.
That's right. For only a small monthly fee, when your settlement alarms are activated, our rapid response cleanup crew will be dispatched, along with our patented Cadaver Scoop 150. The Cadaver Scoop 150 can be mounted to surface reconnaissance vehicles and skimmers to make tidying up your settlement a breeze.
Wow, the bodies are gone.
Our recruitment team has potential new employees on standby across the galaxy, ready to fill your vacant roles in security, logistics, administration, processing, and more.
My plant's operational again. Thanks, Aries Crime Scenes Cleanup Services.
Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services. We'll have your settlement as good as new before the next ship arrives. Cadaver Scoop 150 disposal bags sold separately.
New from Azimuth Biotech, it's Tickle Me Thargoid. Tickle Me Thargoid is fun for all the family. Teach your little anti-Xeno commander the difference between an Orthrus and a Cyclops, a Basilisk and a Medusa.
Count the hearts. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a Cyclops.
Teach them their weakness and how to exploit them.
Now rip out the hearts, one by one.
I don't want to.
Do it. Using the tool. Do it. Now stomp on its face. Smash its face in.
I've got them.
Tickle Me Thargoid. Available now from branches of Lave Toy Depot and other retailers.
This July, Special Effect are inviting you, Commander, to complete 10k your way.
You choose the method to make it to 10k. Like this commander taking 10,000 pictures of their asp in front of things.
This Commander has flown 10k into the black.
I'm really far away. This one is waving at 10,000 NPCs.
My arms are so sore.
Fully explore 10k class star systems.
Drive 10k away from your settlement.
Mine 10,000 tons of ore.
Sell 10,000 mugs.
Make it to 10k your own unique way.
Visit specialeffect.org.uk and sign up for 10k your way.
And welcome back. Well, what we're going to talk about today is obviously the Vanguards update, which will be coming out still in summer. They haven't given us a proper date on it or anything like that. They were at the preliminary stages of them showing the functionality. And introducing us to the concepts, the first thing that we should point out is that we all thought that Squadrons was going and it was going to be called Vanguards. That's not true. They're going to keep Squadrons the same name. So, yeah. Don't worry, your HUD's not changing. However, there's going to be extensive changes to the Squadron functionality. So just to quickly go through this, we can see from what there are more rank categories of which squadron leaders and squadron members can then set up and create their own custom ranks for people to take part in. We have noticed that in a lot of the documentation that there are more players allowed in a squadron. Presently, a squadron is stuck at 500, and some of the stuff that we saw, the number of players in a squadron was over that, so that's good. We've got squadron icons and decals so that we can customize our own decals to give the squadron an identity. There are more squadron league tables, and then we get into the big stuff, which means there's a squadron bank, there's squadron perks. The bank, you can store money, commodities, ships, personal assets, and of course the big item, and I mean this seriously as in big, they're bringing back the concept of the squadron fleet carrier. This is supposed to be the biggest thing in the game that they've done so far. I mean, last time I thought that that the ship that was supposed to create our outposts and colonization was the biggest thing in the game, so the biggest ship in the game so far. But no, they've gone and made an even bigger one. So yeah, that is the thing about this is that well, I'm going to actually open this up to the floor. Let's have everybody's first impressions land. We'll start with Alec, and then we'll go Psychic, and then we'll come back to me. So, Alec, do you want to go first?
Okay, yeah, sure. I posted a thing in Discord which pretty much summed up how I feel. I think I still agree with it. It was interesting because the week before we were talking on the show, we didn't like the name Vanguards. I don't think anyone liked it. It didn't work unless there was more, and there isn't something else. So I'm really glad they ditched that and stuck with Squadrons. We did hope we'd get a guild bank with money, modules, materials, and ships, and we do. Hurrah! We dreamed about the idea of having squadron decals, and they've given us that. Hurrah! And we can do things like write mission statements, and we can see the profile pictures of all the squadron members, and we get a fleet carrier. So it all seems really good, and yet I was left feeling really quite underwhelmed. I think thinking on it now, I've had a couple of weeks. There's two main things there's some detailed things I'll get into, but there's two things I want to raise. So one, and this is maybe just me, because I haven't really seen anyone else saying this, but I'm sort of a bit nonplussed about the fleet carrier because we already have personal fleet carriers, and I do speak as someone who doesn't have one, but I get it. Because we've already got our own fleet carriers, I don't quite entirely get what a squadron fleet carrier, why it's better, because like if okay, Arthur on the show in particular, and I think it was Arthur, talked about, can't wait to see a whole fleet, a whole squadron of ships taking off. Well, we can do that already. And I know it's a place to go and get your perks and stuff, but I don't quite get why the fleet carrier is exciting. The big one, I'm going to raise it now, and then we can get back into it later. Is ship storage? Not so. So there was, after they'd mentioned all the things you can store in the squadron bank, they chipped in with but not engineered.
Yeah.
And I personally still feel that means the feature is dead on arrival. But we can dig into that now, or we can go round everyone else's first impressions first, maybe.
No, I think that we will definitely be coming back to that. So, over to Psychic.
Hi. I agree almost entirely. Right, so there's a couple of bits that I thought were really, really cool. I liked the idea of a squadron fleet carrier only because I've wanted a squadron fleet carrier since they first announced fleet carriers, and fleet carriers originally were supposed to be with squadrons. And I really like that. The follow-up, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. It's going to look cool. It might be a bit of fun. I love the idea of sharing money. I love the idea of sharing commodities. I think that's cool. Kind of stuff that you can already do in a fleet carrier roundabout the way if you sell platinum at a really low amount and that kind of thing. I am entirely in agreement with. I was so excited about the premise, and I know this is very, very specific to me. I was so excited about the premise of being able to use all of my built up engineering materials to engineer new ships for Katie to fly. Because she really doesn't like engineering. There's part of the game that she absolutely adores, and she loves engaging with that. But she really doesn't like engineering. And I was like, I could spend a day making her a ship and then hand it off to her. And I thought that would be really, really cool. And I think that's a really nice way of, as for a new player, let them try some engineering, and maybe they then will be more tempted to do some more engineering. I didn't like the way it was said on the Elite Dangerous segment, where they just went, well, Curtis went, obviously no engineering. And I was like, why is that obvious? And if you say it's because to make it only like a benefit for newer players, the moment you start selling pre-built ships with engineering for arcs and calling them startup ships, engineering is no longer something that newer players don't have access to, in my opinion. So I'll say it now, and we will definitely come back to it. But the only reason I can see why Frontier won't let engineered modules be sold, or pre-engineered ships be sold as part of a fleet carrier, or part of a squadron carrier, or like shared as part of a squadron carrier, is because they like money, and they know that we can build ships better than they can build ships to sell them for arcs. And that's all I'll say about that right now. If you could give it material trading, or if you could have material trading, so I can just give my materials and let them do it, that wouldn't be too much a problem. Or if I could pre-engineer certain modules and then give them modules, that I would be excited about as well. But the rest of it just looked like they'd given squadrons, as it is at the moment, a lick of paint and moved some stuff around. The decal thing is directly lifted from F1 game that failed, F1 Manager. So with the layers and all of that, that's almost directly lifted. And that's great. I don't know. I feel like it needs more options as well. I love the idea. I wish there was more stuff for it, but I do feel incredibly underwhelmed. And it does just feel, where colonization and where power play was like a massive overhaul, this just feels like a lick of paint. And in that way, I'm underwhelmed.
Yeah. Right. Well, in my case, I'm pretty much with everybody else. Admittedly, I am not that bothered about the engineering the ships not having engineering on it. I am, however, thinking I agree with Psychic about the fact that I would love the fact that you could put stored engineered modules in the bank. So you could build up you could engineer a module, put it in the bank for someone else to use. They could withdraw it and use it in their own ship. I
Mhm.
think I would much prefer that than actually having full-blown engineered ships. But
Well, I don't. That's the thing. I don't mind building like a full ship, and then taking it out to its component parts and putting them in a fleet in the squadron carrier. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, the main thing about most of this is the fact that I don't know. I have heard it before.
Mm.
When it came out in what was it supposed to be, the final update of Beyond. This was supposed to be 7 years ago, and we got really excited about squadron carriers, and then all of a sudden it became personal fleet carriers, which to me that killed squadrons because it didn't seem to. What was the point? It felt like.
Yeah, and you kind of
Yeah.
can't put that genie back in the bottle now. We have personal fleet carriers, so squadron fleet carriers, lovely. They would have been cool back when.
then.
But
Yeah.
now we
Yeah.
have personals. It's like, well, to be
I
honest,
go ahead.
I have one use case for the non-engineered ships and one use for the fleet carrier, but it's so specific. So I'm the owner of the Buckyball Racing Club squadron. We don't use
Uh-huh.
it very much, but it's there. A lot of the members have fleet carriers. When we have a race, they all move their fleet carriers to the start line of the race. So there's always half a dozen Buckyball fleet carriers in orbit anyway. But it would be quite cool if there was one more, which was the Buckyball Racing Club's fleet carrier. So, a tiny bit of kudos for that being cool. On the ships, all of our races, we always have a regulation class ship, and the idea of that is it's everyone can afford it. It's cheap as chips. It has
Mhm.
no engineering on it, and it's like, so we have two classes of all our races: engineered, where you do what you like, and our regulation ship, which is non-engineered. So
Yeah.
the beautiful thing is, the Buckyball Racing Club's squadron fleet carrier could have a whole pile of regulation ships for people to take out. That is cool, but that's
Yeah.
literally the only use case I can think for this.
It must be
Yeah. No,
said
I
that.
agree with you. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it must be said that we are getting other extra communication stuff that's coming through, because at the moment, all you've got in the squadrons is a message of the day and things like that. There's supposed to be proper bulletin boards and things like that, which we'll be able to
Yeah.
use, but they haven't actually gone into much detail with it yet. We've just had screens, so we don't know about that yet. I'm just ticking in the rest of the functionality, but it's
And
yeah, I mean,
that use case that Alec mentioned has like brought up a couple of bits here. Wouldn't you need to be a member of the Buckyball Squadron to access them? And yeah, you
yes.
would.
Yeah, you would.
So that
Yeah, you
kind
would.
of
So I suppose if we're trying to introduce people who might do a race and then go, "Oh, I like this. Can I join the squadron?" I suppose it's slightly the wrong way around, because someone who just turns up
yeah.
and wants to try it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Good point.
because on a standard fleet carrier, you can do that. But I have a sneaking suspicion. Well, no, you can set. I get the impression that you can set the permissions on the squadron carrier to allow just squadron mates or everybody.
All right, you've got me. Strike
Where
that.
did we see that? Did we see that anywhere? Before you, with the best one in the world, getting the impression. I don't believe that that's the case. I don't think that that's going to be the thing. I think it's going to be like a
squadron exclusively.
yeah, like the power play big, like what are they called, the big ship thing.
Yeah, the fleets.
Yeah,
the
those
stronghold
fleets, those ones that stronghold carrier. You can only really go to them and not expect to be shot at if you're a member of the of that power play. I think it will be the same with squadron. I think you will have to only be that's only going to be available to squadron members. Otherwise, and I wish that was the best will in the world. What is the point of them?
Yeah, I mean the thing is, right at this very stage, I just want to point out, right at this very stage of last year, when we were getting this kind of information about power play, we were pretty much hesitant about power play as well, because we didn't have that much detail in it.
Good point.
So, in fact, actually, we were quite negative about the initial outlay of power play because we needed more information. But at this point, I think there's about, because there's no material trading, because we can't do the engineering and then store the engineering stuff in the bank or the ships. There's been a lot of negativity about it. I mean, the other thing that they did point out was the fact that you're allowed to assign perks to your squadron. So when you join the squadron sets up these perks, which are bonuses you can have for joining the squadron. And there's a major one and there's a minor one. And some of the major perks, I've been looking down and thinking, oh no, no one's ever going to use that. No one's ever going to use that.
They did stress, I think, that those perks were very much a work in progress, didn't they? I'm sure they even referred to it. But yeah, I hear you.
The one that stuck in my claw was the elite rank one, which is sort of, if you join our squadron, you get it's easier to rank up the elite ranks. So going from harmless to elite is easier if you join our squadron. I'm going, no, please don't, because that's the one sacrosanct thing that that's not changed since 1984. Please don't.
There was actually a perk that that kicked me right in the immersions, which was right in the immersions.
That's a loose phrase. We're going to have to put that on.
It was the fact that one of the squadron perks was improved yield when mining.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, you can give cost benefits and tax benefits, but how in the living fuck?
Mining fragment increase. I'm looking at the picture right now.
Yeah, how does being a member of, how does that work? How does being a member of a squadron give me more fragments when I'm mining?
I can read the ones that are on the picture that Frontier sent us.
Okay, go on then.
Okay, those were I literally scrolled up on my Discord to find them. Increased Pilot Federation ranked XP gains, mining fragment increase, NPC crew increased XP gains, increased team rewards, increased team rewards bracket combat, decreased premium ammo synthesis cost. Which is a wild one for me. I saw so many people in chat going, what? Increased CQC XP gains.
Yes.
Woohoo! Everyone's signing up for that one. Decreased colonization claim costs. They're right in with Brewer. Someone's tongue it. No, shut up. Increased colonization commodities profit. Decreased FSD boost synthesis cost. And then this scrolls, but I can't find. There's not another one. That was all that was there.
I mean, I know that they are work in progress, but I'm already going, oh no.
This one, maybe we could do question of the week. Name 3 more perks that squadrons could provide.
Or
what perk do you want for your squadron?
one that gently caresses the taint. I'm so sorry. I'm not. I'm gonna keep going with it. But yeah, I don't know.
I know it's at this stage here with the information that we've got. We're all there. I mean, I remember this with Power Play last year. We were all there going, "Oh, yeah, okay. I'm not quite sure I get it." And right at this moment in time, I feel that there are some things in this that I don't like, but all the rest of it I can't make my mind up yet because I don't have enough information. And it's frustrating. I'm going to be honest. I mean,
I do like the squadron. Sorry, I was going to say I do like the squadron icon decals. If we're looking for positives, I've not seen that system before, but I gather it's not uncommon. But the idea of like 3 layers and you combine 3 different icons to make that's quite cool.
I'm pretty sure it is almost exactly the same in F1 Manager.
Is it right? Okay.
Yeah, they literally lifted directly from it. So by the looks of things, so it's a I get it, and I like the fact that you can't go completely. I like the fact that there's certain things that you can't do, there's certain things that you can do. We could probably figure out I could probably figure out a way of doing something. Even looking at the logo, the bits that they've added already, I'd like to see a lot more choice with different things that we can add. But we'll see.
What I'd quite like, I don't know if you know if the F1 one can do this, but I was thinking it'd be quite cool if you could enlarge or reduce each layer. So
the F1 one can do that. You could change the size of stuff. I remember that. So I wonder whether if they can't do it here, I'm wondering whether you will be able to do something like that, or whether that's the limitation of the Cobra engine.
Obviously, anything you do to design your squadron needs to be easily shared to the multiplayer community so that everybody else sees it as well. So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I do like the suggestions that we're getting from Chris at the moment. Increased jump height on planets, warmer hoodies in settlements, less litter on concourses, and my favourite is something vending machines something second tech. So yeah, it's. I mean, there are questions, of course. Can you join more than one squadron? Which is something that we wanted because we wanted to have a guest role where you could, you might be the member of Lave Radio, but you wouldn't mind just popping over to the Buckyball, being a guest for the Buckyball Racing Club
for the week the race is on, so you can get our free regulation class ships. Maybe I don't know.
One of the things that is important when you have a guild, but this is technically getting close to a guild system that I've used in other MMOs. There's got to be a way from one squadron to talk to another one. maybe we need a communications officer or a communications officer role to do that. And of course, everybody wants to know what the upper limit for the numbers of or member of a squadron is, because
The one thing that I will say is that we talked about, and I know it's very difficult for Frontier to implement something like this, but because we all use, I say we all, but because there's a lot of us that use various different third-party tools like Inara, but also like Discord for the day-to-day running of our squadron, or if it's a squadron that's very, very active with BGS, for example, the orders will go in Discord because it makes a decision about, people are then informed before they sign in, or they know what's going on before they sign into the game. I don't know of a way to give Elite like a way that you can check a squadron outside of the game, and I know that it feels like a cop-out because obviously Frontier want people to play the game and people to be using the interface within the game, but and I don't know what the but is there. I don't know what the answer is.
Well, at the moment, they either supply it in the API or they. Or there is a squadrons. You know how when you go to select your player group, or something similar to that interface, where you can browse squadrons and think, well, that might be one that I'm after, or something like that. But let's be honest, when it comes to searching functions or filtering functions, it's not really been there internally in the game, which is one of the reasons why those tools are so popular.
Mm.
So yeah,
It's weird. It's weird. I just feel again, like a lot of the answers are like, oh, but we can already do that in Discord. We already do this in Discord. It's just was a lot more underwhelming. And I love squadrons. I love the idea of playing with a bunch of like people, like the amount of times we've played with a bunch of people and like we all get together and we do something in game, and that's great, and that's what Elite at its heart should be. Oh, it's just really frustrating. I don't know.
We're missing out on the one big thing that we haven't even touched on yet, and that is what we used to call subs. And that's how much does your average squadron mate have to contribute towards the bank?
Yeah, and maybe this raises a question I had, Colin, because I don't remember Frontier showing this screen, but I saw somebody else going through the screens. I think it might have been Exorcist or somebody, and I spotted the screen and thought, hang on a minute, what's that? So there's a screen which shows like sort of deposits and contributions and things, and it's got this slider, this sort of progress bar labeled weekly deposit quota, which I found intriguing. What do we think that is? Do we think, for example, that members at a certain tier rank within the squadron have to fulfill some quota to remain at that rank? Or do we think that's something else?
I think that's one of the things that can be set by higher members in the squadron, because I got a sneak suspicion this fleet carrier is going to cost an absolute bomb, and
to run or to buy?
Both.
Both, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm now dealing with the first time the running costs of a fleet carrier. Did I say I had a fleet carrier? Yeah.
You've mentioned once or twice. Active listening, Colin.
I'm surprised you haven't mentioned it more often, to be honest.
I know, but yeah, it's that's beginning to kick in, and I'm suddenly realizing, oh, I've only got 10 weeks.
Before it runs out.
Yeah, before it runs out. So I've got to start earning creds now just to keep my carrier running. But
someone remind us in 10 weeks' time to ask if Colin's still got a fleet carrier. What is that? Episode 3 and episode 547. Does Colin still have a fleet carrier? That's going to be the topic of conversation.
And I'm away on a holiday for 2 weeks, so that's 2 weeks gone right there.
You'll be fine. You'll be all right. It's good.
Yeah. So yes, the running costs of the squadron fleet carrier. I mean, they haven't got into any detail about that yet, and that's. I do wonder whether or not you've got the higher ups in a squadron can say, right, okay, all people at this level have to produce this in order to pay into the squadron. And you could end up with the guy at the top not paying a thing and everybody else doing work for them.
I mean, the levels are quite cool because you have a low level and all they get is the squadron name after their ship, and that's kind of cool. And then you have you set a certain tier where you can start to take ships out of the bank, and of course at that level maybe you also set a donation quota for the week, and so that
I mean, they haven't gone into any details about the bank. I mean, what happens if it gets destroyed? Is that it lost for good?
Like you keep acting like we're going to get even more information about squadrons. I genuinely think that's it until it goes in.
Oh,
I think we've got what maximum one more frontier unlocked, and you think that they're not going to talk about the Panther Clipper next show?
Yeah,
like they did this. It's going to be Panther Clipper. Oh, also, by the way, Squadrons is coming, and this is how much a Squadron fleet carrier is going to cost. Anyway, bye.
Remind me. So with Power Play, they did an FU that I think they called a deep dive, and we all viciously ripped the piss out of them because it was a very shallow toe in the water.
Yeah, it was.
But then didn't they then do an FU which was more of a deep dive? So I think they did 2. So
Yeah,
I don't know. There's no sort of precedent, but maybe
but
we'll get
Power
one more.
Play was delayed. Power Play was delayed by 3 months. In
That's
fact,
true. So
actually
they were
4 months because it came out in November.
So possibly padding, you think, with
Yeah,
padding
and
time.
yeah, and I think Power Play was vastly different to what we were expected. And yeah, because I remember everybody just went, "What? We get this as well," which but I think we should move on to the question of the week about the squadrons.
Yeah, we can do because we didn't have a lot of answers, but we had some like really succinct ones, and there tends to be there is a common theme, but we asked about squadrons on the question of the week. I asked it kind of early this week because, as I mentioned, it was my mom's 69th birthday on Sunday, and I went to the pub with her instead. So we had to get that one answered. I missed like the last half an hour of Chris's show. I'm so sorry. I'm a terrible friend. But we just asked what your impression of squadrons were. Takoso answered saying, "I think not being able to share engineered modules is a big loss. Maybe only grade 3 modules would at least get people into engineering. Also, I think if squadrons could then join into larger vanguards, then that would start the real MMO fun, large alliances, etc."
God, watch out for the goons.
I quite like the only grade 3 modules. That's an interesting idea. As I was saying in chat, I'm sure there are compromises. I'm sure completely unfettered storage of any engineered ships, of fully engineered ships with no limitations would absolutely completely kill their sales of pre-engineered ships. There'd be no point. Nobody would buy them. But I think there are compromises that would reach a middle ground, and that's a nice one.
It didn't even occur to me that sort of
No.
having it limited to a grade.
Me neither. Kind of obvious, actually. Good one.
Yeah, I mean, if the idea is behind this to give beginners a leg up, then yeah, you did. Yeah, but
yeah. Anyway, right. Katiana, excuse me, says, "I'm so disappointed that engineered modules and ships aren't included in the sharing aspect, and I'd love to have an actual reason for that other than we want people to do engineering. I've tried engineering. I hate it. If someone else wants to do it for me, Claire, then please have at it." Properly gutted. I like the squadron carrier. That seems fun.
I'll tell you for one thing, Katie was that upset with Frontier Unlocked that she uninstalled Elite on that day. She has since reinstalled it, but
Wow.
it was the first time that she was so upset and so mortified about like something that she'd been really really excited about that it felt like a deal breaker. So just I feel like other people have felt like that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got Nicey, who is a wonderful co-pilot and helped me out a lot on Sunday for making me murder people. In fact, she started it. I blame her. Anyway, a good start certainly. Would love it if we could store ship mats on the squadron carrier at least. But I suspect they will have seen the upset over it and be taking notes. Either way, definitely excited. Imagine a squadron carrier full of Panther Clippers. How heavy would that carrier be?
Too heavy. It'll have its own gravitational pull. Yeah, and I mean that is something that we can also say. We're not like, as Arthur was saying, they look at stuff and they hear stuff and they get sent clips and they understand. Frontier understand and recognize when people are dissatisfied and have reasonable feedback. And I can't imagine a world where they haven't picked up that people are questioning about it.
I mean, just as on a personal level, just asking you and probably Kitiana by extension, if you got the as Tokuso recommended that the engineering levels to something like 3, not the full 5, but something like 3, would that be an acceptable compromise, or do you want it fully engineered ships?
I see. I'm not sure where that would help a new player. Like if I want to introduce someone to engineering and I want to try and convince someone to do more engineering on their ships because it's worth it in the long run, I want to give them a fully engineered beast that's going to be amazing for them. And then they go, oh no, now I see why I need to do engineering. And then when they give it back, they can then start looking at engineering all of their ships. If I only engineer something to level 3, it's not going to pack the punch and have the reaction that I necessarily would like it to. Do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah. I see what you're saying. You said something there, Claire, which I think I wanted to raise, which I think is really also key to this. You said something like "give it back," or correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Frontier gave any hint of whether ships that you take out of the squadron bank are loaners. If you think about loans, what it means to borrow a ship from the squadron, it gets real complicated real fast. And I'm not sure whether they've done that. I think you just take them out. And I think, and I think that's another issue with fully engineered ships, is that if you're literally just giving them to other players to take away and keep forever. Again, I think if it was a loaner, it might be a different story. But I
I
think
don't know why
implementing,
I feel like I was under the impression that they were loaned then.
I think we've all
Yeah.
talked about loans as a possibility, but like I say, when you start really thinking about what it means, if you decide that if you have an exploration squadron and you've got an expedition coming up and you decide to loan somebody a nice engineered exploration ship for a
Yeah.
month, if they take 2 months, what do you do? Do you take it away from them when they're still at Beagle Point? I mean,
I mean that's the thing, isn't it? That's
how does it work?
where you're making where you make those decisions. So if you are doing doing an expedition and you want to loan people ships to do that expedition as part of your expedition squadron, if you want to loan people ships, you're either going to be jumping the squadron carrier alongside, which is weird, and then making an expedition last a set amount of time. So building your expeditions around how long you give that ship.
Yeah, it seems
Well,
complicated.
see, this is the thing. I mean, when you're actually using the bank, you make withdrawals for the bank, and the money that you withdraw is actually yourselves. That's how that works in the guild bank. You're not actually loaned money from the guild bank. You actually just take it. So it sounds to me like you take the squadron ship.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I do have. I feel like I have a memory of Curtis say in the very first one that like what Epaphras is saying, that Curtis said something along the lines of allowing people to try ships, and when they said that, I just assumed that they would be trying it and then loaning it. I do also think that if they're not doing if they're obviously not engineered, it's a moot point because no one's going to do it. They'll just rather give people the money to go and buy the ship anyway, buy a ship proper. But I don't know. I don't know. We should. Sorry, back to the questions. Commander Daisy Bell says, if they insist on not allowing us to share engineered modules, being allowed to have a materials bank would be super nice. I'm grateful we're getting ways to coordinate in game, though. Having to use stuff like Discord is a hassle. Daisy Bell changes her mind. Doesn't want to use third-party apps and wants to use those. Fair enough.
yeah. I mean, yes, it would be nice to have a lot more of the communication in game, especially stuff for dealing with dealing with powers. Because as much as I like the power discords, it does feel there is a disconnect where I've got to get my orders from popping over to the Discord and out of the game. Which, if there's a better way to do that, then yeah, I'd be all for it.
Yeah. That 90s kid says, a majority of the people who play by themselves for themselves will complain that this is a useless feature and demand the feature be reworked to support them instead. It's sad to see, honestly, and I hope FDev follows through and supports players who didn't hold themselves back. didn't.
Oh.
I'm just. What's
Yeah.
the 90s? What are they saying? I need to reread
So
that.
what I believe what he's saying is that if you're solo, it's kind of what happened with the originally Frontiers when they said about squadron fleet carriers, and people said no, we want our own fleet carrier, and then Frontier went, well, yeah, it's always going to be just your own fleet carrier. I think that's what he's referring to.
Because
I think I was, I see. Sorry, I think I was still fixating on the idea of engineered modules, but I think 90s Kid is talking about squadrons as a whole.
Just squadrons as a whole being, it needs to focus on being for a group, which I don't think there's any indication that it's not focusing on being for that group.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we sort of raised on the interview with Arth the idea. I mean, Arth believed that the core of it was quite a surprising answer, but a nice one. That the heart of Elite Dangerous was community, not like exploration or a great, handling model or the one-to-one simulation. He came right out and firmly believed that community, and a lot of people do say that, So
yeah.
So I think them turning to focus on community-based feature like Vanguards is fine.
Yeah. No, and you must admit, Elite, when you're with a group, elevates the entire game and
Absolutely,
it elevates
yeah.
everybody in the group. So
I
mean, it's good. It's good in solo play, but it's fantastic in multiplayer when it works. So
Yeah, definitely.
I have Commander Andrew Johnson. Looking forward to even less time in the shop and more time in the galaxy. Looks like a great way to move the game forward and to help the next generation of commanders, as well as cement current friendships. I'm assuming that he's referring to the new communication tools that are going to be coming. I mean, I'm hoping that they live up to them, because
Hopefully, I will jump in on that one and say that Kate went and double checked the thing that Curtis said, and that he said you would be able to access the squadron stuff without logging in.
Ooh.
So the assumption is that there's going to be some kind of place that we can go without logging in, which will be really nice. So that's maybe one thing that might be a nice thing to do. I think I might have been already a little bit nonplussed at that moment, and my mind started wandering, wandering to maybe let's go and have a look more at the Planet Coaster update again. Anyway, Ballyunas Hub says. Asks, will a squadron carrier be a requisite for a squadron? If not, what would a squad with one be able to do that a squad without one could not? Obviously borrow ships, but stuff like giving credits, having squadron buffs, etc. Will the carriers be purely rentals, no upfront cost? Those are really good questions. That's like really, really good questions. That's really interesting.
Yeah, because did they mention about the fact that you get the bank for the squadron regardless, or do you have to have the fleet carrier to have the bank?
It would seem reasonable that you'd need the fleet carrier, because surely that's where you go to get the stuff.
Yeah, because that kind of that kind of does kind of seem to make sense that you need the fleet carrier to get the bank, but.
Which is sort of interesting because all the squadrons currently out there, when the update drops, if they don't immediately have a squad carrier, then quite a lot of the features they won't be able to use. I don't know. It's interesting.
Well,
Yeah, really good point.
Well, the other thing is how do you afford the fleet carrier without having a bank in the first place? Because it's going to be a massive cost.
It's going to be expensive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe we should do another sweepstake for how much we think the squadron carrier is going to be, or maybe we've done enough of those.
Sounds a good one. Add it to the list.
No, I'm not doing any more. That's still open, by the way, because we got no information about Panther Clippers. So if you're interested, if you're interested in still entering for an as of yet unconfirmed prize, by all means go and check out the Blue Sky post. I'll probably repost it at some point. Who knows? That's an empty promise for you right there.
Excellent. Right. Chebs Will says, it sounds good. Making our own decals for ships. The in-game bulletin board should be useful. it'll be interesting what squadron carriers bring above being bigger and probably more greedy on fuel. I just hope the perks are balanced and not over the top. If they're not initially, I'm sure it'll work out eventually.
Well, like I said, they're very good at balancing these things out eventually.
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 When they remove that beta tag and then people can write 56-page guides on how they're done.
Ooh, I have the little begin.
Never heard of him.
Yes. Deep breath for this one. So, squadron carrier sounds interesting. Bit let down that we can't share engineering modules or engineered ships. I'm assuming that not sharing engineered ships is to protect the pre-builts in the ARC store, or maybe I'm just being cynical. I think we're all thinking that. I don't understand the barring of engineer modules. I have so many engineer modules I don't use and like my friends to use them and get involved with more stuff. I think the lack of squadron-based activities and being unable to share engineered modules and ships has got me feeling a bit ambivalent towards it. I don't see what all the squadron perks were, so I can't comment on that. And going back to a squadron carrier makes me think Frontier realised that making fleet carriers available outside of squadrons was maybe a mistake. Well, now we can at least have a medium fleet carrier and a large fleet carrier. But there's nothing, and this is actually completely true, and I'll agree with him on 100% on this. There's nothing making me feel, oh my god, I can't wait to try this.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
When we say underwhelmed, at least it was enthusiastic about the new power play. Colonization, we all just went, what the hell?
Yeah.
This one's a bit.
Yeah. You know, it's so stupid, but the one, there must have been, I think there might have been others, but one of the few things that I thought, oh, that would be fun, is there was a hint that you would be able to, it shows you the squadron members in the new user interface, and there's like a button or something that says show all. In my head, what happens when you click show all is that the screen basically changes to a big 5x5 grid of portraits, maybe even more, maybe 8x5 grid of portraits. So I can see all my lovely squadron members in one easy to access screen. However, knowing Frontier and things like the shipyard, I just know that clicking that show all button is going to show me a line of about 7 that I can scroll.
Yep, 100%. It will be a line of 7 that you can scroll, or it will be like a list that only works half the time, or it'll just be pages that you have to go through, and your 9 times out of 10 that will work, but that 10th time it won't work, and it will be. Oh man, I really want the thing is, I really wanted to be like so excited about this. So I wanted to be so fucking excited about squadrons, and it'd be such a big breath of fresh air to squadrons, in the same way that power play update made me want to do power play. And I love doing squadron stuff. I love doing BGS, so like related to squadron stuff, and having squadron orders out and those kind of things. That was what I loved that's what got me into Elite. And it's just not. I'm with you. There's nothing making me feel, yes, this is perfect. This is going to be amazing. It's such a massive overhaul and such an amazing thing.
I do have to point out again, at this point when they were showing us the first things of power play, we weren't exactly taken with it either.
We weren't. But this is the second thing. The first thing we saw, they told us lots of information about it. So this is the second time that they've talked about squadrons.
Yeah.
So this is like that the other squadron one where they gave us more information. This is the more information. We're not going to get any more. I guarantee you, we're not going to get anything more than this by the time Squadrons comes out, because they've got 2 more ships to fit in with their schedule of this year after that. And next week, the end of this month, Frontier Unlocked is going to be it's going to be Jurassic World Evolution. It's going to be a massive thing. We had a whole load more unanswered questions. Now the answers you have, you're unhappy about. Yeah, Katie's right. Fuck's sake. I hate that she's right. So Apaphis, finally, says it's a good start as an upgrade to squadrons, and the sharing of resources means it brings it more in line with other MMOs. I was looking forward to building ships to go into the squad bank for others to use. It would have been a great way for me to use up mats, clear out the increasing pile of PowerPlay 2.0 care packages I can't claim. However, not being able to share engineered ships modules is a bit of a disappointment. I kind of feel I feel it kind of makes shared ships a bit pointless, as you can just outfit unengineered ships for straight up cash if you wanted to test a loadout. Then if you don't like it, you can just sell it. It's a bit different with engineering, because if I try something and I don't like it, you're either left with a module you're not likely to use, or you sell it and lose all of the materials as you don't get any back. This is why take a shared ship out and try it option would have really shined, especially with the time poor commanders who may have taken months to get all of the mats they need to engineer up a ship, only to find it wasn't the right fit for them. I can understand if they don't want people to skip the engineering gameplay. Maybe they could make it so you have to have engineer and appropriate grades unlocked before you can take an engineered ship from the squad bank. The squadron perk system surprised me. Wouldn't have been on my list of things. It does make me wonder how many one-person squadrons there will be made just to get the perks. It will be interesting to see how the more casual squadrons who aren't focused on specific gameplay loops will use it. Right.
If anybody is a one-person squadron who can afford the squadron carrier, I
Probably
suspect they
loads
must
of
be very
people.
rich.
Probably loads of people. Honestly, after the Thargoid War, if this had come in before the Thargoid War, it'd be a different story. But probably loads of people now. I also think the difference between being nonplussed about, for me at least, the difference between being nonplussed about power play and it was because I had no skin in the game with power play. I just did stuff for the modules. But squadrons, that's where for me my love of the game started, was with squadrons. And maybe that's why I feel like so upset about the kind of the information that we have so far. And upset is a weird word. Disappointed.
It's really interesting because I'm kind of the other way around. I wasn't that excited about squadrons to start with, and I was a bit like, well, okay, let's watch FU and maybe it'll change my mind, and it hasn't. But, but I wasn't particularly excited about this to start with.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I think we're going to have to do a little bit.
Keep revisiting down the line, like we did with squadrons for months. No, sorry, like we did with power play for months, talking about how it was different and how it changed. I think I had the capacity to be pleasantly surprised with power play. Maybe that's the best way to say it. Yeah. Because I had, my expectations were low. My expectations are high with squadrons, and that's why it's more disappointing. Group play is great, and Frontiers should continue to focus on group play. Highly recommend.
I mean, one of the things that I think the thing that I got disappointed was that there was nothing about setting a goal for a squadron. They dropped something about right at the very beginning. They said, certain ranks can create goals for the whole squadron, and they're thinking, does that mean that we're going to be able to say, right, everybody get mining, or everybody, we need all this done? And
it's funny, isn't it? We all got really carried away with the idea that you could do things like set weekly tasks or even build mission chains and none of that. We completely went off on one, didn't we? I don't know what started that, but
yeah, well, because we were riding the high of the not being able to pick your places where you put stuff, and we were going, they're never gonna do it, and guess what? This time they didn't, and we were right, and that's also why we're disappointed.
Okay, so I think we can just say, disappointed. We'll wait and see, but Oh, yeah. So, any other business? I think this was put in by Ben because you've already mentioned it.
Yeah.
Would
No,
have
I
liked to
think Chris put this in. Hey, go and check out the trailers for the Expanse Cyrus Reborn because that looks really good by Owlcat Games. And also, hey, go and download Jump Ship and play it with your mates. The Jump Ship demo. It's so good.
brackets. Even Ben would like it.
Even Ben would like it. That was Chris for that.
Yeah. Well, my any other business has been mentioned before. I have a new fleet carrier.
You haven't mentioned it at all, Colin. Please tell us.
No. Well, to see how I got it and what struggles I had with it, there's a new top shift being released tonight at 11 p.m. just after this broadcast. So just put a link in the show notes.
I'm going to be releasing a hell of a lot of all of the demos I played today. They'll be going up once I edit them out today. if we're doing this, we're doing this.
Yes, go on, do it. Okay.
I should have mentioned actually, Colin. I'm assuming you saw, but the Burrs released a video on why should I get a fleet carrier. The timing was beautiful because I knew you were right on the verge.
I know. I was just watching that and thinking, I was going to do a fleet carrier video, and the Burrs beat me to it. But never mind. Yes, that's the Burrs, eh? Hey, Alec.
Bastards.
There's no Burr beef there, is there?
Wild.
Yeah. So our shout outs. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, it broadcasts on a Thursday at 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/elite Dangerous CQC, all one word. We're also giving shout outs to the other Elite Dangerous podcasts. So that would be the Guard Frequency, who do other space games as well. There is the Loose Screws, which do the deep dive into the things that Alec was on about. And of course, if you speak French.
No, Marie. Marie. I let the funky music do the talking.
There is the wonderful Elite Dangerous podcast, and they do these wonderful missions as well. So following on this, we have the latest Galnet News Digest that's provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Peeljude. We'd just like to thank everybody who's chipped in the Twitch chat and the in-game commanders that we've had today.
In-game commanders, we have had Ulrich Octavius, we have had Katie Anna, Stephen Usher, Epicris, Wheeler Towers, JT, and Rocky Star.
Wonderful. Glad you're there keeping the Chris Mark IV happy. Special thanks to Commander Tokuso, Jay and Trax, and Alan Stroud, who have all created music which we use on the show. So that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can find all the contact links in the home/contact us menu of the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So, thanks to Claire.
Thank you. Catch you all later.
Thanks to Alec.
Thanks, Colin. Night all.
No thanks to Virgin Media, which killed Ben.
Rip.
Again.
F and chat, everyone.
I know. A special thanks, of course, goes to today's tech specialist. That would be the Chris Mark IV.
You're welcome.
Excellent. So until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous. Disappointedly.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. You need a safe word. Space can be lowered. I'm gonna see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Update, 10th of June 3311. The Pilots Federation has put out an appeal for commanders to submit their very best photographs of the galaxy to a competition that's open to photographers from any universe. We, here at Galnet News Digest, will be submitting an entry into each of the 6 categories, which includes people, architecture, action, close-up, indie, and nature. We've chosen the very best photographs from our collection, while keeping in mind the Explorer photographer's creed that every photograph must have the Explorer's ship featured intrusively in the foreground. Whether it's an asp in front of things, a Mandalay in the way, or a DBX positioned to Vex, we have it covered, quite literally. The Photo Mode Awards will be judged by an august panel of experts from many universes, including Pilots Federation art specialist Commander Chris Gregory and Lovecraftian warlock Commander Paul Crowther. A winner and a runner-up will be selected in each of the 6 categories and will receive as prizes a bundle of computer games to play on the way to Hutton Orbital, and a selection of rare merchandise, although neither Lavian brandy nor Hutton mugs are believed to feature. Enhancing the photographs is permitted, but this does not include adding in features that were not in the original photograph, or using artificial intelligence to create a photograph. Commanders wishing to enter the competition may do so at photomodeawards.com until the 28th of June.